What is going on, guys? Welcome back to We Want Picks. My name is Jacob, aka the Freckled Saddler Man. They're here to bring you my quick pick video for UFC Saudi Arabia. I believe it's not Abu Dhabi, it's Saudi Arabia. It's somewhere over there. Saudi Arabia, here to bring you my quick pick video. But before we get into this week's quick pick video, guess what? Who was a premium member? If you were a premium member, put in the comments below, because all my bets swept last week for premium members, and it's only $10 a month at wewantpicks.com. I gave you a 65% ROI. That's return on investment for all you accounting majors out there. 65% on the bets last week, and we're going to carry that momentum into the Middle East this week. I think Saudi Arabia's in the Middle East. I don't know, it's somewhere over there. Make sure you go to wewantpicks.com and become a premium member today. Only $10 a month. If you tail the bets last week, that covers like months and months of activities. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you are new. Let's get right into the action. UFC Saudi Arabia. Quick pick video. First up, we got Long Xiao, Shi, I think it might be Shi, Long Shi versus Chang Li. Let me just say this. I respect everything that Long brings into the octagon, right? He's a good striker. He's starting to pick up the wrestling defense. I don't really like his striking too much. He's not an overly powerful guy. And when you watch him get into the pocket, he's dropping his hands and he's kind of throwing shots from the hip. He can get hit. Now, he will stand there and he will eat shots to give shots, but I'm not seeing a lot of footwork. I'm not seeing a lot of in and out in this match. And I'll be honest, I broke down this fight. Little surprised to see Chang Li as the underdog here. This guy, Chang Li, known as the wrestling, known as a grappler, said he wants to be, I think he said something like the Korean Khabib or something. A little bit much there, but he is just as resilient. If you watch his last fight, and I would recommend everybody watch his last fight from beginning to end, he was getting steamrolled. He was getting ragdolled. He fought a grappler who ended up being a better wrestler and grappler than he was, but guess who won the fight? And guess who won it by finish? This guy does not give up. This guy is non-stop, and with the holes in the grappling that I see in Long, and even if he's able to defend takedowns, we saw this guy Chang Li basically on his back for 2.5 rounds, finally was able to start getting in his own offensive wrestling and grappling and finish that fight. I think he's going to have success early. If he has success early, I think he'll wear this guy down. Even if he doesn't have success early, I think he finds a way to figure it out, get those takedowns, even in the stand-up. I think he's a little bit more technical. Neither one of these guys is going to have crazy power. I think he can hold his own in the stand-up, get to the wrestling, get to the grappling, be absolutely relentless with it, and get this win. I'm going with Chang Li. Let's move on to the next one. Next up, we got Magomed Gadzhiyasulov versus Brendson. Ribeiro's going to have a shot here. I know that this guy, Magomed, is a big favorite. He's the more technical guy. He should be able to keep range with those big feet and those front kicks. And if he gets in trouble, he should have the ability to go to the wrestling. Not the greatest takedowns, but he can get him if he gets into trouble. This guy, Ribeiro, if you want to bet him, I don't blame you, right? I mean, plus 250, plus whatever these odds end up being, right? By KO, TKO, he's going to give you a shot. He's going to get in this dude's face, and he is going to accept being knocked out to try to get the knockout. That is just how he fights, and if he finds a shot, he can knock anybody out. But I have to imagine, right? That's a little bit of a flyer there. I have to imagine Magomed's going to come in, knows that this guy's going to bring the pressure, had the footwork to circle out, hit him with the counters, maybe even mix in a takedown early or something like that to kind of just break the pace up a little bit. But he should have the space. He should have the distance. He should have the technical abilities to withstand the craziness of Ribeiro and land shots of his own. But you know, minus 350, something like this. I think there's a little bit more question marks than there are answers when I watch a guy like Magomed, because this Contender Series fight was not against a good fighter. A tough fighter, durable fighter, but not a good fighter. Ribeiro's going to be a lot more dangerous than that guy. We'll see how it plays out. I have to go Magomed here, but, you know, for the live stream, I think we might put a little something on Ribeiro. Let's move on to the next one. Muin Gafurov versus Kyung Kang Tajikistan stand up. I think that Muin's going to get this done. Basically, just based off of pressure, activity, and he's got to be careful again. How predictable was that Saeed fight? We all knew that Muin was going to shoot a takedown, get guillotined. I think everybody knew that was going to happen, and that's exactly what happened. It could happen here. Kyung Ho Kang is very slick with that jiu-jitsu as well, but it's going to be on the stand-up where I just don't think he's active enough. If Muin can't get the takedowns and they're back at space, it's going to be Muin with the more activity, the bigger moments with those big shots, the spinning stuff that he likes to do. Kyung Ho Kang's going to be moving forward, but it's a lot of empty pressure. Even if this is a decision fighter like Muin, if he's going to get the takedowns, I obviously definitely like Muin. Muin's a former lock of the week. Tajikistan, is close in my heart. I'm going Muin here. But, if he's not getting the takedowns, he just starts swinging wild and getting countered. This could definitely be a close fight. I agree with the odds. Muin should be a slight favorite just because of the wrestling and the power in my mind. I'm going Muin. Let's move on to the next one. Fakhretdinov versus, I think it's Fakhretdinov versus Nicolas Dalby. Let me just say, 1+1 in this situation. You hear me say this all the time, right? And I said it with Jekka last week. I said, how can anybody trust Jekka? Jekka was a former lock of the week. The way that he fights, his attitude going into fights, he's a little bit sloppy. He's a little bit wild. How anybody could put money on Jekka. I'm like, 1+1 should equal 2, right? Jekka has the power. Weston gets hit, right? It should be pretty cut and dry. But if Jekka fucks around and finds himself on the ground, he's going to get submitted. Exactly what happened. Let me just say this too. 1+1 should equal 2, right? Rinat is a guy that's got high-level wrestling, high-level grappling. Dalby is a guy that can get taken down. He's getting taken down by every single person. But if you watch Rinat and the way that he fights and the way that he was acting after his last fight, nearly got finished, nearly lost that fight, was able to get a draw situation because there was a 10-8. I know he had the power and the knockdown early, and he's got power and all this stuff. But his attitude leaving that fight, laughing, joking, high-fiving, I don't like that shit, all right? I want fucking competitors. I want if I'm betting you -350, I want you to go in there and take this fucking dude's head off. You're going to be the better wrestler. You're going to be the better grappler. Take him fucking down and beat the fucking shit out of this dude, Rinat. But, in my mind, he's going to chase that knockout. He's got power. He's got knockouts. And if he starts chasing that knockout, right? And he starts swinging those big right and just big shots and big shots. We've seen, how many times have we seen Nicolas Dalby weather the storm, right, of these high prospect guys and just kind of sneak out these weird decisions? If Rinat comes in, tries to knock this guy out, and isn't able to do that, this fight could get very, very interesting, because then I don't know if the takedowns are going to be there. If you're Rinat, take this guy down early. Do what you do. Get your fucking win. But the way that he was acting after his last fight, he is a hard guy to trust. I got to pick him, right? Just like with Jekka. I picked Jekka. 1+1 should equal 2. But if it doesn't, you're all fucked. I'm not betting Rinat. He is the pick. We'll see how it plays out. Let's move on to the next one. Nasrat Haqparast. It's a tough week, man. I'm from Indiana, man. It's a tough week. Nasrat Haqparast versus Jared Gordon. This one should be pretty easy, right? I know Jared Gordon has turned into this durable guy who can squeak out decisions, and he's got a little bit of wrestling, and he can kind of just stay in your face with cardio and all this stuff. Nasrat should be better everywhere, right? Should we be able, I'm not worried about really the takedowns of Jared. And on the feet, Nasrat has shown he's an improving striker. He was already a good striker, but an improving striker. Now is starting to find a little bit of power as well. Should have the footwork, circle out, keep the distance, land some big shots, have the bigger moments, and actually showed off that crazy toughness too with that Landon fight. Got the legs absolutely fucking chewed up. Never quit, never stopped. Was able to work through that situation. So we've seen him in the face of adversity as well. I'm all over Nasrat here. I haven't played it yet, but I'm definitely going to find a way to play Nasrat, either in a parlay, maybe a -3.5, something like that. I respect everything that Jared Gordon brings, all the stuff he's been to into the fight. Maybe he's able to squeak out around, but in my mind, this should be a 30-27 Nasrat. He should be able to control everything. Maybe even find a big moment with a knockdown, something like that. So I'm all over Nasrat here. We'll see how it plays out. Let's move on to the next one. Magomedov versus Joilton Lutterbach. And he's got a Brazilian flag, but I've seen a German flag as well. This guy's just a nomad, just all over the world. Let me say this. I respect Joilton Lutterbach. I know a lot of people, and I've seen it already on Discord and Twitter, say that this guy isn't a UFC guy. He's not good. He's going to get smoked. I think he's good. He's well-rounded. He's good. He takes his time. He is a good counter striker. He will kind of wait. He will sit there. He will counter strike. Boom. And then once he has you hurt, he is all over you. And he's also got a little bit of wrestling in his back pocket. Not great takedowns, but if he gets a body lock, he can kind of muscle to the ground. You'll see on his record, he's got KOs. He's got subs. He's got decisions. Very well-rounded. A ton of fights, right? 48 fights. 38 plus 10 is 38 plus 10. 1, 8. Boom. Boom. Up. No, 34. 48 fights in his repertoire. But I'm telling you this, in my opinion, when I watch his fight, especially his last fight, if he does not get a first round finish, he's not a quitter, right? But he seems to kind of slow down. And even in those first rounds when he has all this success, it's him dictating the pace, dictating the pressure, him kind of controlling the middle of the octagon. The other person around the outside, he can kind of take his time and find his shots. Shara's not going to give him that, right? Shara is going to be in this dude's face early. We've seen Shara with adversity, right? He was taken down, but able to still find strikes to be able to win that decision. This first round could be interesting. A little bit of back and forth. The counter striking of Joilton might be in Shara's face, but I think it's going to get to the second round if Shara doesn't get a finish. And in the second and third rounds, if it gets to the third round, I think Shara and that pace, that pressure is really going to take over on a guy like Joilton. He kind of likes space. He kind of likes it. He likes to be the alpha in the octagon. I promise you, in this fight, Shara is going to be all over him. I could see a second round finish for Shara once that pace starts just kind of wearing him down. He can't get this dude off him. He might try for a takedown. If he can get it, we'll see if Shara can get back to see how much he's worked on that. But if he does not get it, if you see this guy Lutterbach shooting takedowns and he's not getting them, he's in big fucking trouble. That means he's uncomfortable in the striking, uncomfortable with the pressure, and Shara's just not going to fucking stop. So I like Shara here. He's a really, really good striker. We'll see if he ends up on his back, but I like Shara. I think he's going to be able to get it done inside the distance. Let's move on to the next one. Johnny Walker versus Volkan, and this just come to me. This Johnny Walker's former lock of the week. Right? And maybe this is a situation, right, where we've seen with Dominic Reyes last week, and everyone's going to have these conspiracy theories with the new gloves. We don't see these knockouts, and maybe because Reyes was able to survive with the new gloves, that a guy like Johnny Walker, who also has been chinned a ton in the past, can survive and land the big shot on Volkan, right? Because this is a durability. I mean, just 1 + 1 could equal 2 again in this matchup. Volkan is the more durable guy. These guys are probably going to stand. They're going to both land on each other. Volkan with that nice tight counter hook, right? And we just have not seen Johnny Walker be able to eat shots like that to be able to beat guys like a Volkan. So, you know, I guess I understand these odds. It's a pick'em because who knows? But in a pick'em fight, when these big guys are going to stand in front of each other, I can't trust Johnny Walker's chin, right? Maybe he's able to keep distance, and I got to go Volkan here. He's just more durable, and that's really kind of all it comes down to, right? I mean, if you want to play Johnny Walker, if he was a dog, I think Johnny Walker's always maybe worth a play as a dog or a big dog because he is a huge dude. He does wild shit. He's always going to be kind of live, but with that chin, betting him as a favorite, more power to you. I'm not doing it. I am going Volkan here. I love Johnny, but I'm going Volkan. Let's move on to the next one. Kelvin Gastelum versus Daniel Rodriguez, who is on my wall. Got the full signature there. Thank you, Jesse, for getting that for me. D-Rod and Kelvin Gastelum. I think this is a barn burner, man. Listen, and I want to say this with all due respect, because I like Kelvin, right? He was a former lock of the week. I had him as lock of the week versus Sean Brady because I was like, oh my God. He went toe-to-toe with Chris Curtis, looked absolutely fantastic. He's a good wrestler. Sean Brady can't take this guy down, and on the feet, he's going to fucking smoke Sean Brady. Came in, laid a fucking egg. Looked like he'd never wrestled a day in his life. What were we doing, Kelvin? You spent all this time. You're a college wrestler. Then you spent all this time with Henry Cejudo, and it looks like you haven't wrestled a fucking day in your life. Really pissed me off, but I'm putting my bias aside, but I still want to say this, okay? And listen to me. He could win this fight. He probably should win this fight. If he brings the striking from the Chris Curtis fight into this fight, the pressure in your face, nice counter striking, maybe mix in some wrestling of his own versus a guy like D-Rod, he should win the fight. He is going to be my pick for this fight. But I'm telling you this right now. If you're betting Kelvin Gastelum at minus 250, whatever he is right now, I believe in my whole heart of hearts, in my mind of minds, which is a big mind you. I believe that if you bet Kelvin Gastelum at minus 250, maybe a parlay, whatever, but straight up, if you're betting Kelvin Gastelum at minus 250, I believe with that bet, the second you place that bet, especially if you're at a bookie and you're standing in front of somebody, I believe that bet should come with a slap in the fucking face. What are you doing? Kelvin Gastelum at minus 250. D-Rod's a good fighter, man. Let's not sit here and disrespect D-Rod. He's a good boxer. He knows what he's doing on the ground with the jiu-jitsu. Right? He got knocked out a little bit. Kelvin Gastelum's not really this power puncher. I think this is a back and forth striking affair. I do believe that Kelvin's going to want to use his wrestling to kind of steal some of these rounds. This is a close fight. I'm going Kelvin because I'm hoping that he can bring over the striking that he used against Chris Curtis into this fight. But, I mean, he's laid an egg before, and we'll see what kind of Kelvin shows up at 170, right? Before, it seemed like all his effort is making the weight, right? And then he makes the weight, and it's like, well, you still got to win the fight, right? So I'm going Kelvin here, but I'm not fucking touching Kelvin Gastelum minus 250. I think this should be a fucking pick'em. I respect D-Rod. My money might be on the D-Rod side. Let's move on to the next one. Main event, we got Sergey Pavlovich versus Alexander Volkov. Let me say off the rip, you're going to hear a lot of stuff this week about what Volkov's saying about this, what Sergey's saying about this. If you guys did not know, these guys are friends. These guys are training partners. They've been training partners for a long time. From what I understand, they offered this fight to Volkov, and he was like, no, I don't want to fight this guy. But if you guys don't know how contracts work, from what I understand, they offer you fights. You can turn only a certain amount of fights down, right? And at this point, for Volkov, he had already turned too many fights down, so he had to take this fight. These guys don't want to fight each other. They're friends. They're not teammates, but they're training partners. They've sparred together time and countless amount of times. You're going to hear Volkov talking about, I've never won a round off of Sergey Pavlovich. I don't believe that, right? I mean, this guy's a 6'8" accomplished kickboxer against a brawler. I think he's just saying that because it's his friend, right? You're going to hear Sergey Pavlovich, I think, in the interview say that some of his toughest sparring sessions were against Volkov. These are two friends trying to compliment each other to the public. I would stay away from this one, man. You got two friends fighting, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, Sergey's going to knock him out. This is friend, dude. He could be pulling punches. Do you guys remember last year, I think it was in the PFL tournament, they made two friends fight each other, and it turned into this just lazy sparring session because neither one of them wanted to light the other one up. Neither one of them wanted to put the other one away. And maybe this is different because they're Russians, and Russians are a little bit crazy, right? And both these guys are wanting to get back into the title picture, but a lot of times you get in front of your friend and you start pulling punches a little bit. I know I had Angelo lined up, guys. If you watch the tape, rewind that back. I had that dude motherfucker lined up, right? He got a little bit overextended, left that chin out, and I had this right hand right like this. I mean, I was looking right down. I felt like Conor McGregor, right? But I was fucking, and I had a right hand right down. And I was like, boom, this is the KO shot right there. Angelo was like this, because he saw it coming too. I had that thing cocked, and I was like about to throw that thing right down the fucking middle. And what did I do? Because he's my friend, right? I pulled the fucking punch, and I said, that was it. And he was like, yeah, that would have been it. Woo! So maybe we see these guys start pulling punches. This turns into a glorified sparring match that they've had in the gym time and time again, right? If this turns into a touch 'em, sparring, just kind of, kickboxing at range match, guess what? I'm going to take this chance. I'm taking Alexander Volkov because this guy does not lose to strikers unless they knock him out at the very end with Derek Lewis. He's a big guy. He knows how to keep range. I think that Sergey's going to come in and maybe kind of pull punches a little bit. If he doesn't get Volkov out early, Volkov's going to start taking over from there. Obviously, that's just a theory. We'll see how it plays out. Sergey could take this guy's head off, but I'm taking Volkov. My advice here for this co-main is I would stay away, man. I know a lot of people are playing Sergey. They like Sergey. But when you got friends fighting, weird things happen. Let's move on to the main event. Main event time. We got Bobby Knuckles Whittaker versus Ikram Aliskerov. This is a good main event. I'm so glad that they had Ikram kind of in the week before to save this main event, because if it was Sergey and Volkov, it would have been a little bit messy, as we just talked about in that last breakdown. Listen, I have all the respect in the world for Bobby Knuckles. I'm a big Bobby Knuckles fan, right? I sat here and I said that Bobby Knuckles was going to destroy DDP, right? Because he's going to withstand the nonsense wrestling, and he's 10 times the striker that DDP is. And he got fucking smoked. And then I picked Paulo Costa as my lock of the week against Robert Whittaker. And everybody kind of loves Robert Whittaker after that Costa fight. Oh, Bobby's back. Bobby's back. Bobby Knuckles is back to the title. He's going to come in and he's going to smoke Ikram, right? I thought he was going to get smoked by Chimaev. Let me just put that out there. But I'm telling you right now, I know that Robert Whittaker beat Paulo Costa, nearly got knocked out. That fight was very close. Even that third round was pretty close. Paulo Costa had all the pressure in the world, but was just not throwing enough to win that decision. It was a close fight, right? And we know now Paulo Costa really, I mean, to be fair, guys, is not very good. He's not a top 5 guy. He's probably barely even a top 10 guy with the striking. Robert Whittaker, he was controlling the exchanges, but having, I compare it to this, right? Last week, Alex Perez came in off a big win versus Nicolas, a chinny guy. And everyone all of a sudden was just loving Nicolas, right? He had just lost 2 or 3 fights in a row, but he got a win. And they were just loving Alex Perez against this young, up-and-coming grappler in Tatsuro Taira. And I sat here and I was like, listen, that Nicolas win, it's not really that great a win, right? And if you watch those fights in the past, he was really having trouble with the grappling. If you watch Robert Whittaker in that fight versus DDP, he was having troubles with the wrestling against DDP. He was having trouble with the power against DDP. Now, DDP is the world champion. I get that, right? But DDP is not a high-level grappler. He doesn't have, like, life-changing power. He's got decent power, right? But people are going to come in and be like, oh, did you see what Whittaker did against Costa? Costa's not that good, right? And he almost got knocked out by Costa, too. I say all that to say this. I like Robert Whittaker. He is skilled enough to beat these guys. He should have beat DDP. He beat Costa, right? He's skilled enough to beat a guy like Ikram. But when I watch Ikram, what I love the most is his counter abilities off of blitzes. When you try to blitz this guy, he will sit on a power shot and he will fuck you up. And Robert Whittaker loves those blitzes, man. He will wait, pop, 3-punch combination. I think Ikram is going to be there with the power. And when the power lands on Robert, we have seen time and time again, he really cannot handle that power. The longer this fight goes, it's going to favor Robert Whittaker. He was already prepared for 5 rounds. He's been there. He's done that. He's going to be able to dance around and do his thing. But I think Ikram is going to find the power or get the takedowns and have this guy in trouble. I got to go Ikram here. The plus money is just too appetizing. All the respect in the world for Robert Whittaker, but I just don't put a lot of stock in beating a guy like Paulo Costa. I just don't think Paulo Costa is that good. I think the same situation where it's a little bit of fool's gold, just like it with Alex Perez. Little fool's gold with Nicolas. I think it's a little bit fool's gold here with Robert Whittaker. He should be able to get it done, but I'm going Ikram here. I think that powers me too much. Mix in the wrestling if he needs to as well. This has been the full card breakdown. Again, we clean sweep the bets last week. 65% ROI. So make sure you go to wewantpicks.com. It's only $10 a month. And if you don't want to do all that to become a premium member, at least like the video and subscribe if you are new. My name is Jacob, aka the Freckle Salamander, and I'm out. Peace.